So by now, I'm sure, positive in fact, that all of you have heard about the Pokemon Game Freak leaks, and they are freaky. The world has been fully ditified. I'm convinced that he had a role in these leaks. And I want to tell you two stories from the leaks. I know I'm late to the party, but I knew that the longer I waited and the deeper people dug, the better the stories we could get. So pop a squat on Papa's lap and let me tell you two of the best stories I've found, even if you've heard them in broad strokes already. Now, before we begin, I just want to stress with the utmost weight on my shoulders that these are rumored leaks and they are not confirmed and perhaps not even canon. So, Nintendo, please don't kill me. So, with that all out of the way, let's begin with story one. A long time ago, when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was unclear, once upon a time there was a village. One day, a girl from the village went to the mountains to collect firewood. The girl found some dry dead trees deep in the mountain, so she went deeper and deeper. When she woke up, the sun was setting, and the girl had lost her way. There was takufu droppings all over the place, which made the girl feel uneasy. Then a man was seen washing up on the other side of the forest. The man's face was unlike any other man in the village, but he was very handsome. The man said, "You must be lost. I know a way down the mountain, but it will be midnight if you follow my footsteps. I'll bring you back tomorrow morning, so why don't you stay the night and rest at my place?" The girl had no choice but to do as the man said. The man took the girl's hand and started walking. As the sun was setting, we came to a large cave. "This is my house. You must be hungry. Wait for me." Saying this, the man went out of the cave. A short time after the man left, a red light appeared in the distance on the mountain, and the sound of trees swaying could be heard. Soon, the man returned with a large load of red nuts. "After I eat this, I'm going to sleep. Even if you wake up before me, don't look at me." When the girl woke up next morning, the man was still asleep. The girl kept her promise to the man and continued to wait, but eventually fell asleep again. The girl was woken up by the man's voice. When she looked outside, the sun was already setting. "Let's eat some green fruit today. Wait for me." And with that, he went out of the cave. A short time after the man left, a red light appeared in the distance on the mountain, and the sound of trees swaying could be heard. When the sun had completely set, the man returned home, bearing a large load of green nuts. The man said, "After I eat this, I'm going to sleep. Even if you wake up before me, don't look at me." The girl said that she wanted to go home quickly because her family was worried at her. The man yawned loudly and smacked the girl on the head. The girl then completely forgot about her family and her home. Then they both ate the green fruit and fell asleep. The next day, the two of them woke up as the sun was setting. The man went to gather nuts, and the two of them ate them and went back to sleep. As life continued like this, the girl eventually realized that the man was Bakufum. As winter approached, Bakufun dug deep into the cave and said to the girl, "Go and gather some firewood. Break off the top branches and of the tallest trees you can find." The girl tried to do as Bakufun said, but she was afraid of tall trees, so she could only climb low ones. After collecting some branches and returning home, Bakun said, "No, we have to be on a higher branch or else the humans will see us." As the snow began to fall, the two of them slept in the depths of the deepening hole. There was plenty of food. I woke up every now and then to eat them and to sleep again. One day, the girl woke up to find a child in her arms. After several nights had passed, the girl woke up, and Bakun said, "Your father is looking for you, but you're my wife, and I can't give you back. I have to fight him." The girl said, "Please stop. Don't kill my father. How can I live with you after killing my family? You're a good person, so let's stay here and sleep." "Okay, I'll sleep here," the man nodded. The next night, Bakun woke the girl up and said, "Your father is nearby. Go and look outside." When the girl went outside, a snowstorm was blowing around her. She climbed a low tree and broke its branch. When they returned to the cave, Bakufu was singing a song they had never heard before. You have broken the branch. Your father will be here soon. Now I am going to do something to your father. If you kill me, you can have my eyes, my voice, and my heart. Then I want you to build a fire where I was killed and let it burn. And I want you to sing this song until it burns out." The girl said, "Please stop. You're going to kill my father. Please stop. Let yourself be killed. Goodbye. We'll never meet again." With that, Bakufun went outside. After a while, a loud noise was heard and the girl peeked outside. Then it was revealed that the girl's father had killed Bakufun. The girl ran outside and told her father, "Your father killed your son. I have lived with him until now. He is my husband. Please give up your husband's eyes, heart, and voice, Bakufun." The girl built a fire at the place where Bakufun had been killed and poured her eyes, heart, and voice into the flames. And while I was burning out, I sang the song I learned from Bakufun. The girl's father built a hut on the outskirts of the village and put the girl and her child in it. Eventually, spring came. The young men in the village often teased and abused the girl and her child. It got worse day by day, and at one point they tried to cover it with the fur of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The girl returned home and complained to her parents, "Tell the villagers not to make fun of us. If we wear these skins, we'll turn into Bakufuns. Even now I'm half dead." Even though my parents tried to explain it, the people in the village would not listen. On the contrary, he became even more amused and covered the girl and child with Tyrannosaurus furs. The girl and the child then howled loudly and disappeared into the depths of the forest. The two never returned. And that's how people found out Bakufun is half human. Well, bravo! Great job from the story creators there. Excellent work. That is a beautiful tale, a lovely tale, really, of non-consensual, at its best, procreation of Pokemon and humans. So what a lovely tale. Well, anyways, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here. That was a beautiful story, and I want to let them have their chance to tell the second story in this leak. In the distant past, when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was still blurred, there was a woman and her companions. Every day they were bored, so they would often catch Slackoth living in the nearby forest. They played cruel games with the captured Slackoth, sometimes killing them for fun, gouging out their eyes, or cutting off their ears. One day, the woman was walking alone in the forest and saw a Slackoth hanging from a tree. She climbed the tree to catch it, but slipped and injured herself. At that moment, a Vigoroth appeared. This Vigoroth had a torn ear. The woman, startled, tried to flee, but her injured leg hurt too much and she couldn't move. The Vigoroth with the torn ear suddenly attacked her. When it saw her, the woman lost consciousness. When she awoke, she was in an unfamiliar place. Before her lay a clear lake, surrounded by trees, from which many Slackoth and Vigoroth were hanging. All the Pokemon bore wounds somewhere on their bodies, marks left by the woman and her companions. Upon closer inspection, she noticed that some of the Slackoth hanging from the trees were corpses. They were the very Slackoth that the woman and her friends had killed and discarded. The Slackoth were throwing those corpses into the lake. Terrified, the woman tried to run away, but a Slacking appeared. This Slacking also had a torn ear. The woman realized that this was the same Vigoroth she had seen before, and fear overwhelmed her, causing her to faint once more. When the woman regained consciousness, she found herself at the entrance of a forest near her home, surrounded by her friends. They carried her back to her house. Sometime later, the woman gave birth to a child, but it wasn't a human child. It was a Slackoth. She intended to abandon it, but couldn't bring herself to do so. She stopped meeting with her friends and decided to raise the Slackoth. One day, her friends, concerned about her, visited the area near her home. They found the Slackoth sleeping there, the child of the woman. As they always did, they caught the Slackoth, stabbed it in the chest, and killed it. They took its corpse and headed to the woman's house. When she saw the slain Slackoth, the woman was overwhelmed with sorrow. She grabbed the Slackoth's body and ran deep into the forest. Her friends, shocked, chased after her. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the surroundings suddenly opened up, and they found the same clear lake from before. Around the lake were many Slackoth and Vigoroth. The woman stood before the lake and, holding the lifeless body of the Slackoth, threw herself into the water. Afterwards, the woman's friends began to treat Slackoth as companions, just as she had in her final moments. So these were some beautiful stories that I've just recounted to you. I mean, really just the ultimate tales of love and companionship, but just in a super creepy animal bestiality way. Yeah, so this is obviously super fucked up, and people are rightfully jumping on this as being super weird. Like, why are game developers and developers of a franchise even thinking about stuff like this? Now, Forbes released an article saying, hey, look, like all this stuff is just being misinterpreted. Like this is supposed to just be like folklore that's in the background. Like they just had to establish, a mythology of this world that you're playing in to really let themselves deepen their understanding of the Pokemon world to develop games and all that. And to that I say, baloney, bah hooey, there's no reason to make a myth like this. A lot of people have talked about Zeus as a mythology where he's constantly pretty much raping people, sometimes in animal form. This is totally different. This is not a god, A. B, you didn't have to make it based on Zeus, your mythology and your folklore at all. You chose to do that. You chose to go there. This is really weird. This is really weird. This is choosing to go into bestiality territory for no reason. Because, hey, if it is just folklore, that means they only wrote it for themselves and never intended it to get to the fans, which is just weirder. Like, you guys are just sitting there writing fanfics about Pokemon and humans. That's messed up, man. That's worse than the internet could do. I'm not even gonna lie. So, yeah, that's the situation. What is the world coming to? Diddy has gotten to us all. Thanks, everyone.